everybody. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. I hope you all are having an amazing, did I say an amazing day? I am praying that you're feeling blessed, that you're being blessed, and that God is smiling on you. This is Tuesday, so this is the Becoming Engaged podcast with me, your host, Cheryl Thomas. I am so excited that you are here. And I'm going to ask you to do the favor that I always ask you to do when we start out, and that is to like and to share. Whether you are joining me on Facebook or whether you are on YouTube, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and do that now. Also, say hello in the comments. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I would love to be able to just shout you out and to say hello back to you. So I'm excited about tonight, what we're going to be talking about on tonight. Our topic of discussion. I always enjoy just being here and having these moments with you every week. It is a joy and a privilege and a pleasure. And on tonight, we're going to be talking about something that's dear to my heart, something that God has been teaching me. And I just like to often share my journey through the word and through life's ups and downs and things that God is teaching me and how he's growing me. And so tonight we're going to be talking about when faithfulness looks like it is not working. We have been in a series, and this is the last teaching in our series on Christian character. So if you're on Facebook or whether you're on YouTube and this is your first night joining and you haven't seen any of those segments, I want you to circle back and see those. We've been talking about what it looks like to try to reflect Christ in the earth, what it means to be a mirror of him in the earth, so that when people see us, they see a reflection of the Lord, that they experience him when they experience us. And so one of those traits, we've been kind of walking through different traits that should be evident in every Christian's life. And if they aren't evident, then things that we need to be working on. And if they are evident, things that we can work on to help them show up more brilliantly and more brightly, so that the world can find Jesus, the world can know the love of Christ. And so tonight we're going to be talking about faithfulness and how to be faithful when it seems like faithfulness is not working, when it seems like you're the only one being faithful. You're doing your best to do what the Lord says, and it just doesn't seem like it's working for you. Because I know for me, there was a time when I thought that everything would be easy, that being a Christian, my life would be easy, everything would work out fine, that when God gave me a promise, it would happen either immediately or very, very, very soon after that. And I think that as believers, we have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to think that we won't have to wait on things. We have a tendency to think that we won't have to work. We have a tendency to think that we won't have to persevere through some difficult seasons, and that everything should be this bed of ease. So have you ever, I know I have thought like this, but have you ever thought like that? Have you ever been surprised when things didn't happen quickly for you? Have you ever been surprised when things took a little bit longer than you thought they would take? And how did you respond when things happened like that? How did you react when things didn't happen quite your way or quite in the timing that you thought? So let me know in the comments, has that ever been you? If it's been you, you can either raise your hand, you can either send me some stars or send up some nice little smoke signals like, hey, you're not alone. That was me too. Hit that like button. Because for a long time, that's the way I thought. I thought that things would happen quickly for me. And when they didn't, then sometimes my faithfulness waned, because I was disappointed, because I was discouraged, because I couldn't understand or even because I thought I did something wrong. And so I started checking my life, checking my spiritual life to make sure it was lining up or that I was doing things correctly. And not that it was just a season of life or that sometimes as Christians, we have to do exactly what the Bible says. We have to endure hardness as a good soldier, and that everything would not be easy. Everything would not happen quickly. Sometimes we would have to wait on the Lord while still being of good courage, knowing that in the end that he was going to strengthen us, that he was going to grow us up through that trial. He was going to grow us up during that test. And so I want to just use just briefly, my mom loves doing puzzles. And not just like your regular puzzles. My mom has a table in her family room, a big table, where she just takes these, 500-piece puzzles, 1,000-piece puzzles, and she just takes her time and she does puzzles. She just loves them. And what I realized that sometimes our life is like a puzzle, and sometimes waiting on God is like going through and doing a 100-piece, a 500-piece, or a 1,000-piece puzzle. And I know one of the first things that my mom does when she's doing a puzzle is something that you all probably do when you're putting together a puzzle. And what's that? What do you do? What is the first thing? I want to hear from you all. What is the first thing that you do when you are putting together a puzzle, or when you're teaching a child to put together a puzzle? What's one of the first things that you do? I know for me, I know how my mom taught me how to do puzzles is that you do the borders first. Anybody else do the borders first? That's the first thing that you do, is do the borders. Do what you can see to do. Do what you know should be there. And I think that's a great thing for us to think about in life, when those times when we think that God is silent and he's not saying anything, he's not giving us direction. That's a good time for us to just do what we know to do. We know that there are 4 sides to every puzzle. That's if you're doing a rectangular puzzle. That's right, Naja. Edges first. Edges first. That is the first thing that you do. And that's what my mom always taught us. Get those edges. If you get those edges, then it's going to be easier to actually do the inside of the puzzle. And so we can use that as a metaphor for our life, that we do what we know to do. We do what is easy, instead of always wondering what all the other 900 pieces are going to make, or how we're going to fit all those together. Do what you know to do. Yes, Lady Sylvia, she says corners and borders and all the same colors. They're things that we absolutely already know to do. But sometimes I found out in my life, I wanted some special instruction from God. I wanted some special, different thing, instead of just being consistent and doing what I knew to do. And so that's something that God has really been encouraging me to do, is stop looking for supernatural, special. Do what I told you the last time. If I haven't said anything differently, continue to do in faithfulness what I've already commanded you to do, what I've already instructed you to do. Be patient, be faithful, and do what I said to do initially. And also, after we've done, the edges, and we've done the borders, and so we have those 4 sides, and now we're looking at all these 900 pieces. What do we do next? And one of the things that my mom does when she is putting together a puzzle, and I'm going to put this up, these are some of the puzzles that my mom does, is she keeps looking at the picture. She has that box top from that puzzle up, standing right next to those edges, and she's looking at the box top, and then she's looking at the piece in her hand, and she's looking at the box top, and she's looking at the piece in her hand. And so that guides her to where to put the next piece of the puzzle. Sometimes we are so discombobulated in our life, in our trials, in our situation, is because we take our eyes off of God. We take our eyes off of the word. We take our eyes off prayer because we want something magical to happen instead of, okay, God, this is the peace I have now. Where does this peace go? I'm looking to you, Lord. You are the manufacturer. So you see the picture of what you are creating in my life. Help me to be able to continually and to consistently look to you like, okay, this piece goes, look at there. I looked at this picture. I looked at God in prayer and fasting and reading my word. And he says, boom, this is where this picture or this piece of that puzzle goes. And here's the thing. No matter how far along my mom gets in this puzzle, she never takes that box top down till what? Until the puzzle is complete. Sometimes I have found in my life that once I get like good traction, I'm going good, I got like over half of the puzzle done, or in my life, I've got over half of the project done. I've got over half of any system that I'm working on, or in my business, I've gotten over half of it done. Then, I'm off by myself. I'm not looking at, God anymore. I'm not praying for direction anymore. I'm not asking for, well, what do I do next, Lord? I'm not asking for any of that. I'm just like, I'm off to the races. And that is so wrong because what happens? I got puzzle pieces all in the wrong place. Things are force fit. Have you ever tried to force fit a piece of puzzle? Like, you gonna go in here. It's not sliding in easily. So, things are all awry. It's because I decided that I didn't have to look at the picture anymore. I decided that I knew better than the manufacturer who made the puzzle, me, the puzzle, my life, the puzzle, my situation, my job, my business, all those puzzle pieces, that I don't have to confer with him anymore. I don't have to ask him anymore. I can use my own intellect, my own wisdom. And so I don't know if you're are like my mom. My mom has some puzzle pieces that are a little bent around because you're trying to do stuff that ain't supposed to be done. She's trying to make stuff work where it's not supposed to work. But if we consistently and continually go to God, if we consistently and continually look at that box, it will never lead you wrong. There is not anything that is on that picture, on that box, that is not in your puzzle pieces. And all of them will fit correctly if you consistently look at the picture. And so that's just a quick word that I want to leave with us on tonight, that if you consistently and continually look at God, yes, it takes my mother months to put together a 1,000-piece puzzle. It takes her months to put together a 5,000-piece puzzle. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen quickly. But because she is faithful to the picture she sees. I want y'all to get that. That's blessing me. She is faithful and she trusts and she believes in the picture before her. She comes in day after day after day working on that puzzle because she knows that in the end, the pieces in her face that are before her on that table will eventually look like the picture that's on that box top. And so my encouragement to you today is, if you are faithful day after day, when you don't feel like it, when your emotions aren't lining up, and when it doesn't look like it, or when it's taking too long, or when other people say, you've been working on that a long time. I can't believe it's been 10 years you've been trying to get that business, off the ground. It's been 20 years that you've been trying to get that church to grow. It's been this amount of time and you've been waiting on this. But remain faithful, remain steadfast, because this is what I promise you, y'all. I promise you, if you remain faithful, if you remain steadfast, and if you do not give up, God is going to bless your efforts. He is going to bless what you do. There is nothing that you will do that God will not bless you in if you keep remaining faithful, if you do not give up, if you do not give in. And yet, Adrian, I love that God has an unobstructed view of our picture. I absolutely love that. Absolutely. He knows what the end is going to be. He knows what he has already preordained for you. He is not confused. He is not discombobulated. He is not in a hurry. And so I have learned to be like God. I have learned to think like God. I'm not going to be discouraged. I am not going to allow myself to get upset. I'm not going to allow myself to try to rush your time frame. I am going to just remain faithful to what I have in front of me. I'm not going to look to the left or to the right. I'm not going to see how fast other people seem to be moving and how far ahead they seem to be. I am going to remain steadfast to my own race, knowing that he that hath begun a good work in me is going to complete it. He is going to perform it. I won't lack anything. I won't be missing anything. Nothing will go undone. Everything that God has promised, everything that he has said to me and for me will actually happen in my life. I am going to be just like Philippians 1:6 says, I am confident of this very thing, that he that hath begun a good work in me, and he's begun a good work in you. You have to see what God has begun in you and what he's placed in you. It's a good work. And he is going to perform it until the day that Jesus Christ comes back. He is going to still be performing that good work in you. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to not lose heart. I don't want you to lose faith. Know that God is going to finish the work. I want somebody to put that in the comments. God is going to finish this work. God is going to finish this work. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how long it takes. God is going to finish this work, and I am going to remain faithful. I am going to remain steadfast because he who promised is faithful. He has never let me down. Every time I thought that things were falling short, every time I thought that I wouldn't make it, God showed up. So my encouragement to you is to stay faithful, stay faithful, stay faithful. Know that God is going to finish the work. Yes, he will. He's going to absolutely, positively finish the work. Yeah, I'm going to put it up there because I want y'all to see yourself saying this, because this is what I know. Every time God plants a word in our lives and the enemy comes to try to dig up that word. He tries to make it fall on stony ground so that the birds could come and snatch up that word. But I want you to see yourself saying, God is going to finish this work, so that when the hard days come, you can, rehearse that. God's going to finish this work. This is a bad day. I'm not feeling good today. My emotions are all over the place, but God's going to finish this work. He's going to finish this work. The enemy will not let me believe that God is not going to finish this work. It's going to be finished. It's going to be done. I don't care how long it takes. God is going to finish this work, and I am excited about it. And I just want to put a pin in here really quickly, just for a quick station break, and then I'm going to come back and close us out. Hey friend, just in case you're new here, I am Cheryl. I am from sunny Florida. Go Gators. And I absolutely, absolutely love the beach. Pretty beaches in Florida. Yes, we do have. I am a minister, a best-selling author, and a certified Christian life coach. And I wanted to personally invite you to visit my website, CherylThomas.co. Not .com, CherylThomas.co. On there, you'll find a myriad of resources just for the Christian woman of faith who is ready to delve deeper into the things of God and also ready to understand and uncover God's specific purpose for her in a community. And speaking of community, I'd love for you to join our community, the B Club Inner Circle. It is a powerful and impactful and a fun group of women 40 plus who have learned that we can lead happier lives on the other side of 40. That life doesn't stop at 40. We'd like to think that it's just beginning. We would love to have you partner with us as we seek to do God's will, as we seek to develop and to build great, fulfilling community among Christian women so that we can love ourselves, invest in ourselves, value the voice that God has given us, and experience big, big fun. Also, in the community, you will have access to discounts that aren't available anywhere else. You'll also have access to our in-person member-only meetings, and we're cooking up something really, really exciting for the future. Think beach, think sands, think fun. And so if you want to be involved or a part of this thriving community of women, I look forward to seeing you on my website, www.cherylthomas.co. It's going to be a blast. Take my word for it. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you soon. I hope you all enjoyed that. Y'all, let me tell you something. We are having an amazing time in the B Club Inner Circle partnership, and we would love, love, love to have you be a part of that as well. God is blessing us. We are getting ready to do some really, really fun stuff. If you are not already on my email list, I want you to jump on it. I'm going to put a link in the comments as well, because we'll talk about the fun events that we do every quarter. We're going to get together locally and have some fun. Monthly, we get together as the Inner Circle and we do some deep diving, learning how to, just actually live out what God has called us to live out, to be who God has called us to be. So you want to hit that QR code just to find out a little bit more about us and what we are doing. If you are not tech savvy, don't worry, I got you. You can just actually go to my website at cherylthomas.co, that's co, not com, .co/TBCICP, and join us there. And before we go, I just want to encourage you this is what I know. Being faithful in difficult seasons is difficult. It's not easy, and sometimes your emotions are all over the place. But what I know is being in a community of people that support you, that pray for you, that encourage you, that lift you up, and that speak into your life is so very vital. It is so very important. And I think even as we move forward in life and we see things around us in our country, things around us in our world getting worse and worse, and that has just prophetically been spoken through the word of God, that it's going to get darker and darker the more community that you will need. So make sure that you get attached to a good community. I know your church is a good community, but also a community of women that support you, that love you, and that also, I'm just going to tell y'all, we have big fun. We like to have fun. We believe that the Lord is calling for us to have good fun. And so I want to just invite you to be a part of that. When I see Valerie's joining, thanks so much. She said yes. And I'm going to show y'all comments because I really want y'all to see this. God is going to finish the work. He is. I promise you, he is going to finish the work in all of us. And so thank you all so much for joining. I try not to keep you all long on here. Just a quick burst of inspiration from the word of God, because I don't have good word, but God has powerful word. Word that will not faint. Word that will not fall away. Word that is guaranteed to stand the test of time. And if you have been blessed, if you have been encouraged, there are always ways that you can support the ministry. You can support us here via Cash App. I'm going to put up my cash tag there, as well as, again, I like to help out my tech savvy people. Those are ways that you can support this ministry so that we can continue to bring great content to you. And if you're on Facebook, my page is enabled to receive stars. You can send stars my way as well. I love you all with the love of the Lord, and I pray that God's blessings overtake you, that while you're in your waiting season, that he will encourage you. But even as we move into this next month, as we move into Rosh Hashanah, as we move into this new year filled with blessing, that God would speedily take you out of your waiting season and into your season of harvest, and in your season where you will reap all of the good seeds that you have sown. I love you all with the love of the Lord, and I'll see you all next week.